The Mesa Chamber of Commerce Inside Business Podcast brings you a unique view of Mesa through its vibrant business community and the subjects that are important. The podcast is produced in the Mesa Chamber of Commerce Media Studio, sponsored by the University of Phoenix. Our podcast is hosted by Mesa Chamber of Commerce CEO Sally Harrison. Please enjoy this episode of the Mesa Chamber Inside Business Podcast.
We're the Inside Business Podcast. And we're back with a friend of ours. It's Joan Krueger with NAI Horizon. Joan,
Hi.
it's been a while. not too long.
No, about 6 months, I think. Yeah.
Has it?
Yeah, I think I looked back and I think I was here in January.
Holy cow, time just is flying.
Yeah.
There's so much going on.
August on Sunday. Yeah.
Gosh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
But busy.
Yes.
Good busy.
Yes.
And lots going on, obviously, in your world.
Yes.
Of real estate.
Yes. Thank you.
What's new in the past 6 months?
Well, I think it's more like what's not new, kind of. It's just continuing to move right along. Mm-hmm. And I think I'm in commercial real estate. I think we've talked about that. That's my forte. That's my sweet spot. But I also teach residential pre-licensing. So
talk more about the teaching piece.
Oh, I'm very excited to be an employee of the Maricopa Community Community Colleges. And I work out at South Mountain. And I teach a cohort of about 20 students every semester, Tuesday and Thursday nights, and they're
cool.
Impressionable young minds.
So
and
how
I love
has
it.
that been? Because you've been doing that for a bit.
Oh, I will tell you. What the sad thing is, I have all these students I will never recognize on the street because they were wearing masks, and I know their eyes, and that's it.
So did you actually teach in person that entire time?
Yes, I was literally for 2 semesters the only class on campus. And which was weird, and the facility people kept forgetting about us.
Hi,
and
you're back.
Yeah. Oh, you need air conditioning. Oh, yeah. Oh, bathrooms. Oh, so it was, and I was just starting it. So I was learning to teach. I was learning the curriculum, and trying to get the college to remember that we were there. So it's been very exciting, and I love it. And it forces me to stay abreast of what's going on in the residential world as well. And of course, all my friends call just because I'm in real estate, so they assume that I know. And really what's very interesting is I do try to watch on a daily basis what's going on in commercial and residential and what I need to know and what I need to tell my clients. And everything continues to be sort of status quo, which is it's hot, and it's not, no one's concerned about that changing much. On the residential side, things are going to slow a little bit just because I think we're finally catching up with some inventory. The new builds are coming out, and I know we were talking about Eastmark earlier, and they're just announcing some new deliveries, and such a beautiful area. And in commercial, the same is true. The pandemic did some weird things. Not a surprise that offices kind of cleared out a little bit. Right. And you may have heard that there are some companies who are saying to their employees, be back in your seats by September 1 or find another job.
Wow.
So we're expecting that to impact the office market. But the strange and crazy part about it was that industrial properties are not to be found. I've got somebody wanting to buy a hotel, and we literally can't find one in the valley, for under a certain amount of money. And it's apartment complexes are going for crazy amounts of money. And so it's been just a really interesting time and no real slowing down. You've got all this great industrial going up over off the 202 and Power, and yet, ask those guys, it's all pre-leased, and you know that Dexcom and a number of other people, and before it's even a twinkle in somebody's eye, it's already leased or bought.
Isn't that crazy?
It is, and there's so much else going up over there, and so Mesa's got so much, and of course we were also talking about a couple of recent land transactions that have closed in that area, so I know that there are lots of exciting things going on.
Yeah. Well, and you've been traveling.
I go back to Wisconsin. Yes, I have some projects there as well. Family left me a beautiful home there, and now my next project there is going to be getting rid of some commercial real estate there. So
Holy
which
cow.
looks a little different than it does here.
Yeah,
So,
I think so.
a lot of trees and water on it instead of,
Right.
cactus and sagebrush.
Right.
So, yeah. So I get to go back and forth, and I get more mosquito bites here than I do there, though. So that's
That's
interesting.
good.
Yeah, yeah. It's
Since you spend more time here, that's not good.
Yeah.
You're getting more bites,
well, and they've got sharper noses back there, so you don't even really notice. Here they leave big old welts. So.
Oh, that's too
It's
bad.
so I
So
go
real
back.
estate is definitely, I mean, every time you are talking to somebody new, that's the topic.
Yeah, yes, everybody wants to know.
Right.
I mean, because everybody, in fact, yes, my neighbors invited me over last night for a glass of wine. We're thinking of selling the house. What do you think?
Oh,
well,
gosh.
if you want to pocket the cash, yes, you can. Do I think that we're headed for a crash? Absolutely not. Do I think that this meteoric rise in appreciation is going to continue? Probably not. We'll get back to something normal. And, I always enjoyed speaking when I went into the business to people like myself who were longer in the tooth at the time and had been through a number of peaks and valleys in our real estate market. And Arizona, the Phoenix market is a bit unique anyway. I mean, we just continue to build, and we've our economy in the state has become more diverse, so that we have lots of reasons for people to come here. More so than it used to be, that if anything east of the Mississippi had a really awful winter, we could count on a really busy movement here in terms of new people. And now we have we've done such a great job of business attraction in the state. And of course, lest Bill think I like him, Mr. Jibginiak has done a really great job in his department as well. And so Mesa, in the many years that I've lived here, has certainly changed a great deal in its ability to attract businesses, and that brings residences, and so it's just
like
changed.
That build it and they'll come, right?
Right.
So once you get a couple of those bigger projects under your belt, others are attracted to come and be around that.
Right. Well, and I will tell you that in my office of NAI Horizon, a lot of my colleagues focus, and they still have trouble remembering that the East Valley exists. The big topic is always what's happening on the west side. The 303 Buckeye. Buckeye is going bananas with their land sales, but they have lots of it.
Sure.
Question is, how are they going to support it? Their infrastructure is not quite where it needs to be. Mesa did a really good job of working ahead of that, which is one of the reasons that you can get that. But the semiconductor that's going up in the West Valley is certainly fueling a lot of the growth there. And so, yeah, we sit in meetings and everybody talks about 303 and the semiconductor and blah, blah. I'm like, and don't forget about the East Valley. We have this, and this here. And then, as you say, more coming. And I think, again, the city does a really good job of talking about and publicizing that, and through social media, all the great things that are coming. And so it's, you guys are just rocking and rolling here in this city.
Mesa's a good place to be.
I think so.
Yeah. I think Bruce Kelly used to say Mesa's a great place
Well, that's kind of cute, isn't it?
saying. Well,
It should be on a bumper sticker somewhere.
It might be.
It's awfully cute.
Well, so thank you for all your commitment to being part of the Mesa Chamber, because you jumped in and, we love that. So we have, I wouldn't say taken advantage necessarily, but we've figured out what you enjoy.
Oh,
And so we've asked you to...
so much for transparency.
Yeah, we've asked you to be more engaged. And, it works for us because you are really a rock star when it comes to the government affairs stuff, because not everybody understands that. You don't know... you don't just understand it, but you enjoy it, which is nice, because you have taken on the chair position for our Government Affairs Committee.
I took it on, or I got given it?
Okay, so I asked you, would you please do this? And you said yes. And I love people who just say yes. That's awesome. But talk about what is involved in government affairs, what that looks like.
Well, you're right. I think a lot of people don't understand. And even in my business, I had this conversation with one of my colleagues the other day when I explained my background of being a former planning commissioner and an elected official in Gilbert, and now several years ago. But again, one of the things I understand about how communities grow is my experience there, and us being Gilbert being one of the fastest growing cities in America for several years while I was doing all of that. But it cannot be done. Things don't happen. The growth that you're experiencing here in Mesa and the wonderful things that are transforming your community into one of great recognition doesn't happen without the participation of different political bodies. And if you've got fighting going on between your economic development department and your elected officials, then things don't move forward, and people don't want to come here because they don't have this cohesive environment where they can run their business and succeed. So all of those things are important to your members and understanding what decisions are being made, who the influencers and decision makers are. And I'm always very comfortable with that. Still, even though it's been a while since I've been out of that arena, still know an awful lot of them on a first name basis. And even if I don't, I'm very comfortable making phone calls and having conversations and picking up on common ground. And I was raised by elected officials, so this is something that just is near and dear to my heart, and I feel very comfortable with. And so I think it's been fun. And I think that when I started attending those events for you, I'm not really sure how much good luck you were having with programming and that sort of thing, mostly because probably somebody wasn't really dedicated to it and interested. You make it easy because we come up with ideas and you make a phone call and you have your own level of influence.
But that's why it works, right? Because we kind of brainstorm together, obviously include Mr. Emmert from Jordan Policy Group in some of that discussion. Even some of our council members kind of weigh in on what's happening in the city that might be, good to get in front of people. I do know that we had over the last few months, some really great speakers. I think having Congressman Stanton on our call was a really nice visit. I think he was only supposed to be on for like 8 minutes.
Yeah, he wanted to talk.
And he stayed with us for quite a while, which was great because he answered questions. And then I think having Terry Goddard on the call to talk about water kind of got everybody's interest piqued.
Well, and that's the kind of, I know Grady Gamage does frequent speaking on water too, and that is one of the reasons that's such a big topic, even though Mesa is not necessarily in a position to be worried at this time. It's just everybody wonders, how the heck does the state of Arizona sustain that? And it is somewhat of a complex discussion. Those of us in real estate are trained to understand how the water acquisition and distribution process works here in Arizona, but not everybody does. And so I think that that's one of the opportunities we have through this committee is helping your members understand more about how this works. They live here too.
Right. Well, I think they're like most people. They see things on social media. They hear things on the news. There's a water crisis and we haven't, we're in a drought, whatever. Right. And they just get those little snippets. So having somebody actually explain and put, that spotlight on Mesa that they have taken good steps in making sure that we have the infrastructure, we have the water, we have all these things that
people are thinking about it. Yeah, we're not just crossing our fingers.
Right. Well, I also saw you just a couple of days ago at Women's Business Connection.
Oh, so fun. Yes,
it was great to be in person again, and obviously, we had a party.
We did, and I got to sit next to one of your new members, Alaska Credit Union.
They're not new.
Oh, they're not.
No, new to you.
Yes, definitely.
She's engaging, and Melinda has stepped in and said, I need to get I need to get busy with this. So
Well, she hadn't been to one of those
No.
events, I think. And
No.
then I had Kayla from the House of Refuge on the other side, and Nikki Shaw from Farm Bureau. And she hadn't been, none of these ladies had been to one of these events
Right.
before.
well, we had a room full of new people, right? That had some of them just joined the chamber in the last 6 to 12 months.
Well, that's right. When did
We
we
had-
have one of these?
March of last year. Yeah. So literally or maybe it was even February, we had our event and literally like locked the doors and, went home and worked from home. So we haven't seen some of our new members ever
Yeah.
in person.
And I won the gift card. I'm so
course you
excited. Yes, and so Catherine and I will be meeting for coffee. I said, if you're going to give me a gift card, then I have to buy you coffee with it.
Very cool.
So, and that is the point, really, of that lovely event, right? Is to try to leverage those
Connections.
relationships, right? Yes, everybody. So the point was, these ladies said, "Is it always this busy and loud?" And I said, well, believe it or not, I said, I know we haven't seen each other for over a year. And so, yes, there's a lot of catching up going on.
Yeah.
But, yes, it is almost always this loud. We just really, this is a group of women who enjoy being together, who have a lot of common ground. And
And want to support each other.
right.
Right.
Want to stay connected. So it was very great. And a little plug, just that the Holiday Inn at Country Club
Yes.
and 60 does an amazing job on the spread. The food every single time has been they outdo themselves.
They have a great chef. They have a great team that plans that. They want to make it very special. They know that they have an opportunity to get in front of a bunch of, people that maybe haven't been there before for something. And it's fun to hear that they're going to be
Yeah.
doing some renovations.
Yeah, and I thought it's very nice looking as it is. I don't really understand,
So
but
it's exciting.
yeah. So as one of the members, they have a lot to offer. I think the chamber as well, and very grateful for all. Yeah. So not sure where we're headed with that all, and let's keep the Delta variant at bay, right? So we don't have to go back to some other behavior. But it was a really lovely event, and
nice.
Lauren does always such a nice job of emceeing the whole thing, and
Yes.
so.
Yes.
Yeah, I could do without the games in the corner. I'm not, it felt like I was playing charades, and I'm not good at that. So
But it was the goal was to get people up and talking to each other rather than
And it did.
having our first event back together where everybody just comes in, sits down, and we have a speaker in front of us.
I know. I'm an anti-icebreaker person.
Well,
that's
not
just.
this week. You played along and you did.
I
just
did.
fine.
I've been taught how to play along, but if it were my druthers, I'd sit in my chair and listen to a speaker. So that's just me. It's good to get me out of my chair.
Yeah. Well, okay. So speaking of chairs, I believe you have secured a seat on the bus.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that
Wow,
was a
you really
transition.
knit that all together.
How about
That's
that?
very nice.
Yeah, so we have 2 bus tours scheduled for, September 29th and August 12th.
Are they sold out?
No, not yet.
Okay, because I
No.
sent someone to
Oh, yes,
you.
please.
Okay, good.
Yeah. We have 56 seats. I do think that we're probably approaching about half on both buses.
Okay,
but,
cool.
We haven't really done a lot of promotion yet for
Right.
that, so it will
They go
happen.
fast.
It will be fun, but I know that you're going to be on the bus.
And the wheels on the bus
Yes.
go round and round.
I actually had somebody say that they were going to get on the bus and sing that song. I won't tell you who it is because I bet that he does.
And is it someone I know?
I probably.
Okay. And again, another plug. This is, unfortunately, I know that the tour was virtual last year. There was just a
Yes.
PowerPoint presentation on all of I think there was some semblance of that.
Yeah.
But I've done this now a couple of different times and others.
Were you on the 2019 tour?
Yes, I think, and
Yeah.
yes, which was absolutely fantastic.
Yes.
And I've seen this happen. I've participated in other chambers that have done this, and again, coming from the Midwest, it's hard to explain to people the level of development that goes on in our communities. I know my dad would come to visit, and one of the first things we did was have to take a drive around, and he's like, well, that wasn't on that corner when I was here 6 months ago, and what is that? And I don't think that our business community can absorb everything that's really going on, and it's and the magnitude, the importance of some of the developments that are happening, and
Right.
what that means. And the great thing about the bus tour is the economic development members get to explain that. Okay, what you don't know is what's being built here. It's bringing this many employees. It's bringing
Well,
this much tax revenue.
exactly.
All of that's really
Most
critical.
people see a big building and think, oh, there's a new business.
Right.
They don't really think about that drill down, like
Right.
how many employees and like what that brings back to the economy. And most people have no idea.
Well, and I live not far from Dexcom, which is really fun to see their ads on TV and go, they're, just over there. And so again, the bus tours are very fun. And when you do, when you do promote that a little bit more, those will go fast. And so
Yeah,
I
they
will
will.
tell my friend to get on it.
Yeah.
So learning a lot. And I think one of the other things that happens is not just, see that new building going up there, that's what's going to go in there, but here's what's happening down the road. And again, between government affairs and economic development, I think what a lot of residents and businesses don't understand is how much planning goes on. It's very strategic about
sure.
what is supposed to be built. So when you hear the arguments about zoning and the arguments about variances and all these sorts of things, there is a strategy to how we get businesses and residences to live in harmony to the betterment of the community. And
Well, when you talk to Bill and his team, I mean, some of the work that they've done has been working like behind the scenes
Sure.
for years to
Of
get
course.
certain, businesses here.
it takes, it's not a simple phone
No,
call.
it's relationship building,
right.
it's strategy. Yeah, it's
Well, and you
an exciting time.
hear a lot about that out of the Arizona Commerce Authority and GPAC and a number of those people, and they talk about how much work goes into this, and it does take a special skill set as well to not only explain to people, why should you come to Mesa? Why would you leave Silicon Valley and move to Mesa and not keep going east to Austin or any one of those things? Why stop here? And here's why.
Well, the team at Economic Development must be doing something right.
Indeed.
And they're being recognized for it because Bill and I talked a couple nights ago, and he was telling me that several people from his team and the team as a whole are being recognized for several different awards this fall. So exciting stuff, well deserved.
Indeed.
It's going to be
Great
fun
team
to be
too.
on.
Great
Yeah.
team.
He has a really good.
He's done
good team
very
now.
well, and Mesa's lucky to have them all.
Yeah.
So
Well, exciting things going on. Thank you
Yes.
for being part of it.
thank you for having me.
So we'll have you back again for
Okay.
round 3. And we'll
See what I
talk
can do
more
to help.
about new stuff that's going on.
Yay!
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
No,
Good to see you,
thank you.
sweetie.
Good to see you too.
This has been a Mesa Chamber of Commerce Inside Business podcast. You can find all podcast episodes at iTunes, Spotify, or your own favorite podcast website. You can also find them online at mesachamber.org. Content of this podcast is copyright the Mesa Chamber of Commerce, unless otherwise noted.